this guy Charlie Kirk running around justifying America's support for Israel. So in this clip, he gets schooled by a Palestinian Christian, Charlie the scammer clown Kirk. And obviously this guy's, we know who his handlers are. We know he's getting that APAC dough. So let's get into this clip here, man. This guy owns this guy in such a, he just looks so bad here, and he even posted it on his own channel. I'm like, dude, do yourself some justice and take this shit down, because the guy's a Palestinian Christian, by the way. All right, no excuses here, because he's all, the Christians and the Jews and the Judeo-Christians, and ignoring the fact about what Jews actually think about Christian and Jesus in general. Just getting into this.
How are you, Charlie?
Yes.
Big fan, by the way. Absolutely love you. I agree with mostly everything you say, except for one thing. I don't agree with your overwhelming support for Israel, and I have a Christian argument for you about it.
Uh-oh.
My issue with it is that Israel helps funds Turkey, military, sells them missiles that end up killing Armenian citizens. How do you justify that as a Jewish nation is helping another country eliminate a Christian race?
So I don't support that, but we have a deeper problem with Turkey beyond Israel. Turkey's part of NATO,
Yes.
so we give them money.
Are they really? But to be honest with you guys, like, who gives a shit about NATO? No one gives a shit rat's ass about NATO.
Yes.
So it's not an Israel problem, that's an America problem, right?
I agree.
So if your argument is against, which I'm no fan of Turkey, and I acknowledge the Armenian genocide for the record,
Yes.
Which a lot of people get mad about, but I would put Israel aside to that for a second, because the arms they're selling are repurposed American arms usually. I don't know why Turkey should be part of NATO. I think Turkey should be kicked out of NATO for what they did to the Armenians, and they don't offer anything to America.
They don't.
Nothing. And Erdogan is a very, very bad guy who's becoming an Islamic dictator of a failing country. So I think it's an American problem. So I would put Israel aside on that.
But really, Turkey's a failing country? Dude, Turkey is, I think they're number one in tourism in the Middle East. Their GDP has like doubled the last 10 years. And this guy's obviously spewing bullshit. And then he says Turkey's not really a benefit to the United States. Okay, so how is Israel a benefit to the United States, right? That begs the question, like, how is Israel a benefit to the United States? And watch
Israel also does sell them military aid.
So do we.
Yes, but
So we are the root cause of that, right?
okay. And then the second part of my question is, how does U.S. Gives a lot of benefits to Israel? How does Israel benefit us as a partner?
Well, first and foremost, you're a Christian.
Yes.
How do we know the Bible is true?
From the land of Israel, Palestine.
That's not Palestine.
You want me to put British Palestine? Does that help?
Well, as a Christian, so are you Armenian Christian?
No,
Or-
I'm actually Palestinian.
Okay. So what? And you're Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
See that, and you're a Christian? It's like, dude, like, yeah, 15% of them are Christian, my guy. But people like that, like, they're very, again, he just uses, just what standard, like, literally what everybody thinks is a common Palestinian, which they have to be Muslim.
Okay. Well, praise God. I'm thrilled to hear that. So, but I
See
think
how he
you
got stumped here? He's so nervous. I'm glad this guy came up. He's so
can
nervous.
acknowledge that we as Christians have to honor the Jews. Do you believe that?
I think we should honor everyone. People are people at the end of the day.
But in our scriptures, it does say that we should bless the Jews. That Genesis 12:3, bless those. I will bless those descendants that bless me, and we have a covenant with Israel. Do you share that as a Christian? That belief?
Who are the Jews, though? Are they the people, the native people of the land of Palestine, or are they the Polish reconstructed Jews that came out after 1948? That's the big question there. Who are the Jews that the Bible and the Quran and the Torah speak of? And that's what a lot of people get mixed up. They want to lump in Jews, Zionists, and Israelis, and then you really have to take a step back and really look at that equation there, because there's a huge difference between all three, right?
I think like, how as I interpret that is that
And the Jews in Israel today can't trace their lineage back to that land.
like at the end of the day, like we're all people. We should all be respecting and honor others. We should not be hating our neighbor. I don't know if that was me. Hating our neighbor. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So I guess you can like take it to the context of specifically talking about Jews, but I take it in the context of talking about everyone as a people, the entire nation. Because at that time when the Bible was written, there weren't 100 and how many countries. You know what I mean?
Yes and no. I mean, it does. Paul explicitly says that we should bless the Jews, and from it, we should honor the Jews. We're not going to agree on that, but so you say you're Palestinian.
Okay, Moses was a Jew. Jesus was a Jew. All the prophets, damn near all the prophets were considered ethnically Jews, right? Because they're from that region, that land, and they're revered in Islam. They're revered in Christianity. They're revered in Judaism. What's your point? Like, see, the people the fabricated Jews, the ones in Israel now that came from Poland to maintain, really it was an economical move to maintain hegemony over the Middle East. Oh, you're Jewish, like 7 generations ago, you probably like 0.2% Jewish. Oh, you're Jewish now. Now, yeah, you got to return back. You've been in Poland for 200 years, but now you're from Palestine somehow.
That's great. Do you think Israel has a right to exist?
Of course.
Okay, then we can agree.
Yeah.
That's a big statement. Do you think that anti-Semitism is real?
Of course.
Okay, great. Then
Of course it is. Of course it is. Anti-Semitism is 100% real, right? But again, conflating Zionism with
really don't have much to disagree with you on, because the major issue is, does Israel have a rightful right to exist? I guess the question is, what would you consider to be Israel?
Well, how do you feel about the fact that we provided aid to Israel to where they ended up literally leveling Gaza? Do you think our money was in good use to do that?
Well, yes and no. I mean, the first question is, why did Israel do that? It's because Hamas went and killed 1,300 Jews on October 7th, unprompted, unprovoked, in the most horrendous way imaginable. And so Israel was responding in a way that they would respond. Hamas invited that. And I guess the question I would have as a Christian, do you think that it's better for Christianity to have Israel controlled by Jews or Israel controlled by Muslims? What's better for Christianity?
Okay, so I have a personal opinion on what I think would be more accurate. From my own personal experience, I've seen Muslims be more receptive to the Christian faith than Jews. That's my own personal experience.
By the way, like, not to cut this guy off or anything. And by the way, he wants to cut off this whole segment and throw people off because the guy just literally destroyed him. But reality of it is and to people's surprise, and people never want to acknowledge this, but when Muslims, Jews, and Christians lived together peacefully was under Islamic rule, and that you could trace that back throughout several different civilizations, from Spain to all the way to the Middle East. There's never been any type of strife between Jews, Israelis, and Muslims and Christians. When you see videos in Israel of Christians getting spat on, you don't see that in the Muslim world. And the funny thing is, I've never met a Christian who's like not proud of being from like whatever Middle Eastern country they're from all the way from Iraq to Palestine to Lebanon. By the way, and a lot of people don't know this, man, the Iraqi Christians, they were they were backing Saddam Hussein more than anybody else. They were literally Saddam Hussein surrounded himself with Christians and slaughtered Muslims. It's really the Muslims slaughtering the Muslims. The Christians historically have never been really slaughtered or treated negatively throughout the entire Arab world, and a lot of people propagandize that there's somehow this like persecution. Christians are persecuted all over the world, especially in America, because they're whitewashing the hell out of Christianity, and the churches are closing down, and they've butchered Christianity, in the West. They're being persecuted all over the world except Arab countries. And maybe you might have some like stupid like Islamic radical terrorist people that do what they do, but that's like very limited and minimal. It's not the majority.
You know that over 85% of grass-fed beef in stores is imported, thanks to a loophole, foreign meat ranchers, where 100% of their meat is promo. You'll get free every veteran.
I have a personal opinion on what I think would be more accurate. From my own personal experience, I've seen Muslims be more receptive to the Christian faith than Jews. That's my own personal experience. But on top of that, there are, not only in Israel, there are thousands of churches all throughout the Middle East and Muslim-controlled countries that have been preserved for thousands of years now that get funding. So I don't think it's an argument on whether who would do it better because they've both been doing it for thousands of years now.
Yeah, I mean, man, you can't walk the streets of Tehran or Riyadh and say Jesus is Lord. You can say that in Riyadh.
Yes, you can.
You can say Jesus is Lord. You could say Jesus is a prophet.
I've seen it personally.
They have evangelical churches in Riyadh. That's interesting.
But you can say that.
So part of my family.
I'll get to you next.
So part of my family's recent family that's married in is from Tehran. They're Iranian, and they've been Christian
They are
their entire
Shia
life.
Muslim.
No, they are Christian. They are Armenian.
Oh, okay.
And they've lived in.
Fucking moron, bro. And by the way, this is how stupid this guy is. And like literally, it just took this guy just if he just had a little bit more knowledge, he would have absolutely this would have been a viral clip of this guy getting completely debunked. The second group of Jews in the entire world, the most populous country of Jews in the entire world, and you can look this shit up. I'm not making this stuff up, right? Is in Iran, and they're treated absolutely fine. If you ask Persian Jews whether they want to leave Iran, they'll tell you fuck no. They don't even go, bro. They don't even go to Israel. They want to stay in Iran. Like huge communities, millions of people. They're even in the government. And this is just the type of propaganda that the West and people like this clown push, simply because they're getting cheddared up by AIPAC.
In Tehran their entire life. There's a big community of them. They have churches that they go every single Sunday. They are proud of who they are. They wear their crosses out. Not a go talk about Egypt, Syria, Jordan. They have thousands of churches there. They have big Christian faith over there, but they are Muslim majority countries and run by Muslims, and the churches are protected.
I mean, look, I don't want to. You think the Coptic Christians have been treated well the last 10 years? I mean, come on, man. I mean, there was a mass persecution of Christians over the last decade. They're leaving these countries. A lot of their heads are being cut off. I mean, it's terrible.
I agree. There's extremist Muslims.
Yes, but I would. The best argument.
Again, one or two cases, that have been taken out of context to again, bash Muslims, Islam, the Arab world. Again, man, it's like you can make this argument and say, all right, why did this radical Christian terrorist run up into school and shoot up a bunch of Christian kids? And that happens in America every single day, right? So, again,
argument you could make is that Jesus is revered in Islam as a prophet, but not the prophet,
sure.
Right? That's the best argument you could make. But in practice, Islam is not compatible with open-air Christianity. They want you to kind of, at best, stay in your corner. At the very least, there is mass persecution. We're just going to disagree on the role of Israel. I think that the Jews should have a right to their own homeland, and I think that Muslims are able to have 40 Muslim-majority countries. Why can't the Jews have one?
No, I'm not disagreeing.
No,
with
then we agree on that.
But my point is, though, why are we?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Look, I believe in a two-state solution, right? It's just Netanyahu and the radical Jewish terrorists that you never want to call out. Well, they're not even. I don't even think the Jews even consider them Jews. They're Zionists. They don't want that.
Why is America giving so much support and aid to Israel when we have so many problems in our own country first? It's the same argument on why we shouldn't be sending $300 billion to Ukraine. Why are we funding another war?
Well, part of it is that we do get a lot in return from weapons, technology benefits, but again, I believe we have a moral obligation to be able to protect the cradle of civilization and the place where our Lord and Savior walked on water and rose from the dead and proves where the Bible is true. Israel is not like every other nation. It's not like just sending money to Chad or to Senegal. There's something special about Israel, and I think we have a moral commitment to that land.
That's not why, my boy. You want to have Israel there. The Americans, the neocon conservatives want to have Israel there, not for religious reasons, because none of them are really religious. They use that as like to whitewash the whole thing. They really want there to maintain Western hegemony over the Middle East and to ensure this is in coordination with the Saudi Arabians too, which are apparently Muslim as well, to ensure that the petrodollar remains the dominant currency used in exchange of oil, and also to extract all the natural resources in that region to enrich their countries, and to prevent the Soviet Union from doing that. That's really the Soviet Union and China from doing that. That's really why America's so hell bent on supporting Israel. Which the only problem is what they get in return is not, what they're putting in.
Could disagree with that. I'm not going to apologize for everything that the government did. There's no way I would ever do that. At the same time, though, have you ever been to Israel proper?
Yes.
You have.
Yes. Been to Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt.
And you've been to Jerusalem and all that.
Yes.
Does it do anything to you as a Christian?
Of course.
It's
awesome
beautiful,
being
right?
There. It's amazing being there. I wish I could go back every day.
As me as a Christian, do you think it would be safe for me to walk the streets of Bethlehem without armed guards?
Yes. My own family was thrown to the. Now I don't want to make a personal argument, but my own family was thrown to the ground by Israeli guards because they were wearing a cross out.
Yep.
That's been my own personal experience.
That is unacceptable.
It's not.
Well, I said it's I believe it to be unacceptable. So we want to try to de-radicalize both sides. At least here's been my experience, is that the Israeli community has been very welcoming of us as Christians and our faith, the homeland. I have not felt that kind of reciprocity from the Islamic world. And I'll finally say this. There is a disturbing trend with Islam across the West where they are antagonistic towards Christianity, that they are taking over a lot of areas that used to be dominantly Christian. I feel a lot safer with Israelis than I do with most Arab Muslims. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Pretty much saying, okay, I'm a racist and I'd rather be with, I don't know, the Polish Jews instead of the Mizrahi Jews. I don't know. This guy's a fucking whack job. But, yeah, I'm glad this guy came up because it just shows, like, he just exposed a lot of this guy's talking points. And, I mean, anyone with half a brain that really wants to entertain this shit, right, would go there and absolutely destroy this clown when it comes to America supporting Israel, with all its might and glory, because in the end of the day, what have we gotten? Like, what have we gotten? Billions of dollars down the drain, endless wars for no reason other than literally no reason. Like the Iraq war was a joke that handed Iraq over to Iran. Now Iran's twice as big. Afghanistan war was a joke. They had nothing to do with 9/11. Really, it was just there to weaken the Taliban from getting chemical weapons and all this other shit. The billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of people's lives just down the drain, all because of this entity. And we can go into other crazy shit, that's involved around the Zionist, that are in control. But we're not gonna, we're still on YouTube. So, anyways, what you guys think in the comment section down below, man. Like, comment, subscribe, peace.